The BBC has seen documents which revealed that the Royal Air Force knew of fuel leak problems with the Nimrod reconnaissance aircraft 6 months before an explosion last September which killed 14 crew members.
Well, the aircraft have been in service for nearly 40 years, much longer than originally intended, and there have been calls for them to be grounded while an investigation takes place. Our defence correspondent Caroline Wyatt reports.
Flight Sergeant Ben Knight, a young man who loved his job flying on Nimrod aircraft, but it was to cost him his life in September 2006 as he flew over Afghanistan on a vital reconnaissance mission, gathering information on the enemy for the British troops below. A fire broke out in the bomb bay shortly after air-to-air refuelling. The pilot sent out a distress call, but the plane exploded in mid-air and all 14 men on board died. Ben's father, Graham Knight, has since uncovered a catalogue of known problems in Britain's ageing Nimrod fleet.
I'd read one report and I was in tears, and I said to my wife Trish, I said it's just awful, really. That, when you read some of the reports, that especially the BAE one, when I read that, that they had actually said in 2 years earlier, if they have a fire, then you will lose the aircraft.
Graham Knight now has a copy of an internal maintenance report by defence contractor Kinetic, dated several months before his son's death. It highlights the extent of fuel leaks, and in particular on the 6 aircraft flying intensive schedules over Afghanistan and Iraq. The document says the leaks represented a critical structural problem, dating back at least 10 years. Sealants were deteriorating and peeling like masking tape from some areas. The Nimrod was unveiled in 1969, and the fleet is still flying long after its planned retirement date, because the replacement fleet isn't ready. For now, the Nimrods in Afghanistan will not be air-to-air refuelling, after the latest incident earlier this week. The BBC has obtained the flight report, showing that fuel began to spray inside the bomb bay, soaking it. This time, the crew managed to land safely. But the question remains, should Britain's Nimrods still be flying at all? The flight engineer who tested the first ones says not.
I think the aircraft should be grounded until the Board of Inquiry report comes out, and the cause of the accident for 230, which 14 people lost their lives, we sometimes forget that cause is found and it is put right.
Until the Board of Inquiry's report comes out, 14 families are left wondering, like Graham Knight, whether their sons' deaths could have been avoided.
It would have been different, I think, had they been shot down by, a ground-to-air missile or something, because it would be the tragedy. It'd still be a tragedy, but it would be a tragedy caused by the insurgents, whereas this appears to be a tragedy caused by incompetence.
Caroline Wyatt, BBC News.
Well, the Ministry of Defence has told the BBC that the Nimrod fleet has not been grounded, but air-to-air refuelling of Nimrods has been suspended pending a full investigation. The Ministry says the safety of crews remains paramount.